Is from the state of Washington. He's a former sheriff and chairman of the Republican Policy Committee Law Enforcement Task Force. In effect, he's the go-to guy right now among House Republicans on policing issues. Congressman Reichert, thanks for your time. You helped launch this task force in part with the goal of easing tensions between minorities and law enforcement communities. How do we do that? What is the most urgent need in that effort right now?
Well, I think first folks have to recognize, and I'm sure they do, that this has been going on for a long time, and we've been working on this for more than just a year. 2009, Seattle King County area lost 4 cops to an assassin just south of Seattle. A few days later, another police officer in Seattle was ambushed and killed. So I feel that pain from my previous profession in law enforcement. I've lost partners and friends over the years. But in our effort here, what we recognize is that there has to be trust between community and police. The community can't protect itself. The cops can't do it by themselves. It's the police and the community coming together that can make this happen, and they can only make it happen when you build trust. One of the ways, or some of the ways to build trust, is to have community involvement, and I know much of the nation and the larger cities and sheriff's offices have that communication and have that community interaction. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Congressman, specifically on the issue of gun reforms, obviously that's a topic that the folks on the Capitol, your colleagues and yourself have been talking about a lot lately. We have heard you say in recent days, all we do on gun control is yell and scream past each other and nothing gets done. Is there a solution to this problem? You spoke with Speaker Ryan at length last night. What did you learn? How do we deal and move forward on this in some productive way right now?
So I did speak with him at length last night. I also had follow-up meetings today with the Speaker and other members of leadership, and also members of the Black Caucus here in Washington, D.C. And I think that we have come to a place where we're all recognizing that we need to move forward together and find a solution. So just like we did in Seattle when I was the sheriff in King County, Seattle, we moved past the argument of gun control and focused on gun crime. But the real issue here, too, is what is causing our people to lash out at each other, and what is causing the violence in our communities. I think you have to go back again to the hope in our neighborhoods has disappeared. That's a foundation, a loving homes. It's a lack of education, which results in a lack of hope.
And I think the president, in effect, addressed that in some way today. He said during his remarks, we ask the police to do too much and we ask too little of ourselves. I mean, you know full well as a law enforcement member for 33+ years, a lawman and legislator, how great the ask, the burden has now become on law enforcement. Is that what needs to change in effect?
Well, I think there are some things in law enforcement that need to change. We've seen over the last several years some incidents that have been just outrageous and unbelievable in the eyes of, I think, almost every police officer across this country would look at some of the events that have been videoed, just aghast at the policy, the procedure that the officer went through. So I think there's some, right now there's a fear. Members of our community do not want to be police officers. And so what happens is the quality of our hiring pool diminishes. And I think there's also an issue with the hiring policy. Do we really screen people for the emotional and psychological screening that we should be to determine whether or not this person is fit to carry a gun, badge and a gun? So I think there's a lot of issues. I could go on with a lot of other ideas, but really, bottom line is, the community needs to respect the law and respect the police, and the police department needs to recognize that they have to trust and respect the community and rebuild that trust.
Congressman Dave Reichert, the former sheriff from King County, a man I covered for a long time in local news out in Western Washington. Nice to see you again. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it, Peter.